In this video, I'm showing you 30 cinematic camera movement, push-pull, lens focus, creative movement, and much more. Because here's the problem, AI video models are trained on real film vocabulary. And if you don't know the exact word, you're just losing money and time in random generations. So after hundreds of generations, I created the ultimate cinematic camera movement guide with the exact prompts AI understands, the emotion each one creates, while keeping character consistency throughout the whole sequence, and everything is organized in 6 categories. Plus, I built a complete guide and a Notion library compiling everything. So let's dive in. Here's the thing that most people do wrong. They just prompt something like cinematic camera movement and hope for the best. And sometimes it works, but most of the time it doesn't work and they have no idea why. And I learned that the hard way, after spending hundreds of credits on random results. Then I started using specific cinematic vocabulary that Kling or C-Dance or even VO3 can understand. So in this video, I'm going to show you 30 camera movements separated in 6 categories. And to simplify the process, I built the whole prompt library and the guide. So as you can see, it's a database with over 40 camera movements, so even 10 more that I'm going to show you in this video. So as you can see in this column, you have your ready to use prompt, and you also have the context and emotion on how and why to use each camera movement. And again, as I told you, you have 6 different categories. So push, pull, orbital, vertical, lateral, lens and focus, and creative. And when you understand these 6 categories, you will always know what movement you need to use in any scene. You will think, oh, now this is the moment where I introduce my character. And immediately you will know that you need to use an orbital movement for that. I also added a complete guide with all the camera movement and emotion with the visuals so that it can be even more understandable for you. As you can see, already 82 people have used it and they freaking love it because it saves so much time and money because you don't have to waste credits, and it works both for paid and free tools. So if you want to grab it to follow along with this video, you will have the link in the description and in the pinned comment below. Alright, so now let's break down the 30 camera movements with the example. So category 1, push-pull. The principle here is pretty simple. Moving in creates intimacy and intensity, while moving out creates distance and reveal context. The first one is a slow dirty in. The camera moves slowly towards the subject's face. So use this when the character has a realization or when something important is about to happen. It's the camera saying to the viewer, pay attention to this moment. Then you have the fast dolly in, also called the rush. Same movement but fast. This is perfect for urgency, shock, action beat. Something just went wrong, for example. This is kind of like the jump scare version of the dolly. Then you have the slow dolly out, so the camera moves slowly backward, revealing the context around the subject. This is perfect for isolation, emotional distance, or showing a character alone in a big space. Then a dolly zoom, also called vertigo effect. The camera physically moves back while the lens zoom in at the same time, and it creates an effect where the background wraps around the subject. Actually, back in the days, Hitchcock made it famous, and you can use it for dramatic realization or physical tension, but be careful, just don't overuse it. Just try to sprinkle it a little bit in your videos. Then you have the extreme macro zoom, so the camera zoomed into the subject's face at microscopic level, so you see the skin, the pores, the texture. It's in hyper focus, in intimacy, and obsession. Now category 2, orbital movement. The principle here is to circle around the subject to reveal it at all angles. It's kind of like your cinematic showcase, if you will. The first movement that I want to show you is the orbit 180. So for example, if you're using my prompt Notion library, you just have the orbit 180 here. You select the prompt you want, so you just have to copy it. Then you go to your video creation tool, so in my case it's Higgsfield. As you can see here, I selected Kling 3.0 as my video generator, but any video generator can work, so C-Dance 2 or even VO3. I created my first frame here using Nano Banana Pro, and here in the prompt I'm just gonna paste directly the prompt that I got in my Notion template. So camera orbits 100 degrees around the subject, smooth half circles rotation, and then I just have to click on generate, and it's really that simple. As you can see, my camera moves with a smooth half circle around the subject, and this is your character introduction shot, or the moment where you want to show off a costume or a design or a location. It says, this subject deserves to be seen from every angle. Then you have the fast 260 orbit, so the camera spins at full circle around the subject. This is the power up movement, transformation, or even hero reveal. Then the slower cinematic arc. So this is a gentle wide curve around the subject, slowly revealing their profile. This is the beauty shot, the thoughtful moment, or even the contemplation. Another one that I love is the Dutch orbit. So the camera is tilted on its axis. It's kind of like if something felt wrong, like a psychological tension or violence. But again, don't overuse this one. But it's really cinematic, but it doesn't mean anything special if you use it every time. Category number 3, vertical. So the principle is moving up reveals power and scale, and moving down creates intimacy or defeat. And the first movement that I want to show you is the crane up, also called the high angle reveal. So the camera rises vertically, revealing the landscape. This is kind of like your establishing shot, your opening scene. We are starting something big here. Then you have the crane down, so the descent, where the camera descends vertically toward the subject. It's an epic entrance, the character is landing into their world. Then the pedestal up, so the entire camera body rises from waist level to eye level. Use this for a character, for example, standing up or revelation or power shift. Then you have the pedestal down, so the opposite, the camera lowers from eye level to the ground. The character is sitting down or feeling defeat. Then you have the tilt up, the camera tilts upward backward from the subject's feet to their face. It reveals the character and creates presence. It's often used to make someone feel massive or powerful. And quick tip for vertical movement, if you really want to master it, what you can do is just select the first frame. As you can see, this is the one on top of the character, and the second frame, which is the one in front of the character. And if you use the first frame and last frame, you will gain way better control than just using only the first frame with my prompt. By the way, if you're loving these techniques, I have way more in my free school community. I also have advanced workflow, extended guide, more prompts, and weekly calls where we give direct feedback on your work. And what makes the whole difference is that we have members already making money with AI video. So whether you're a creator, freelancer, business owner, or just somebody who just started out, it's definitely the place to be. And if you want to join for free, you have the link in the description below. Now let's keep going with the fourth category, which is lateral. Now the principle here is to move with the character. So if you prefer lateral camera movements, kind of create a companionship with the character. The first movement is the lateral track left or right. So the camera slides to the left or the right, revealing an environment or a character. It's elegant, it's smooth, it's cinematic, and it's great for establishing a space. Then you have the side tracking, also called the parallel. The subject walk and the camera follow them sideways at the same speed, showing their profile. You're walking with the character, not watching them from a distance. It's kind of an underused shot in AI filmmaking, which is actually a shame because it's a great movement. Then you have the leading shot or the backward tracking. The subject walks toward the camera and the camera moves backward at the subject's speed, and you can read their face as they're moving towards you, so it's perfect for emotional moments. Then you have the following shot of the tracking, so the opposite. The subject walks away from the camera and the camera follows them from behind. Now you're in the world of the subject, you see what they see, you go where they go. It's kind of like an immersive shot, especially for sci-fi or action sequences. Then category number 5, lens and focus. So the principle is what you have in focus is what matters. This is where the lens is going to reveal the viewer's attention without moving the camera. So the first one is the smooth optical zoom in. The lens zooms slowly toward the subject, the camera body doesn't move, only the lens. It's less intimate than a dolly, but great for slow building tension. Then you have the smooth optical zoom out. So the lens pulls back, creating distance without physically moving the camera. It's good for disconnecting the viewer from the scene or revealing the surroundings. Then you have the snap zoom, also called the crash zoom. It's a rapid zoom toward the subject, dramatic tension, comedic beats. It's kind of like what Quentin Tarantino is using a lot in his movies. Then you have reveal from blur, so the shot starts completely out of focus and slowly sharpen into clarity. It's the visual equivalent if you want to the character opening their eyes or coming back to consciousness. Then you have the rack focus. The focus shifts from the subject to the background or the other way around. It's how you show what the character is looking at without cutting. It's very cinematic and honestly AI handles it pretty well. Category number 6, creative and dynamic. So these are the epic shots, the wow moment, the high energy moves. So use them intentionally because overusing them will kill the effect. The first one is the drone flyover. So high altitude flight over the landscape, mountain, city, desert, whatever. And you're establishing shots for a big environment. It can be the opening frame of a cinematic work, for example. Then you have over the shoulder. So the camera is positioned just behind and slightly on the side of one character, looking over the shoulder at the other. It's a classic conversation shot. It creates proximity, tension, or connection between two characters at the same time. So you can use this for dialogue scenes, confrontation. Then you have the handheld dynamic. This is one of my favorite because it's really natural. The camera has this natural shake and movement like something is holding it. You can use this for action or even for raw moments. Then you have the whip pan where the camera whips violently to the side with an extreme motion blur. And this is perfect if you have a transition between two shots or location. It's quick energy and minimal effort. Then you have the barrel shot, so the camera is tilted on an X-axis. It's kind of like the Dutch shot where something feels wrong. Then you have the POV, so the first person perspective. Now we are the character. It's a maximum connection because we are the eyes of the character. And then we have the bullet time, also called the matrix effect. So the time slows down dramatically while the camera orbits around the subject. You can use that for action scenes, critical moment, or frozen drama. By the way, Silence 2 handle this type of movement really well. I've seen a lot of examples on X, which are quite amazing. Now that you have your 30 camera movements, the question is, how do you choose in between them? So here's my 3-step frameworks that I use every time. First step, what emotion are you creating? Is it intimacy or tension? Then use a push-pull. Then match the movement of the story beat. If it's an opening shot, use a drain flyover or crane up. And step 3, consider the subject. If it's a static subject, orbital, push-pull, or vertical. That's it. So now you can pick the movement not because they are cool, but because you want to make the viewer feel something. That's the difference between AI slop and real cinematic AI. Now if you want everything in one place, as I told you, I built the whole package with the PDF guide with all the 30 movement plus 10 more. And on top of that, you get the Notion template where you have all the movement and you just have to copy and paste your prompt. So no more guesswork, no more wasting credits. Again, if you want to get everything, the link will be in the description below and in the pinned comment. Also, don't forget to join my free school community. You will also find the link below. And if you want to fix your character consistency, I've done a whole video concerning that. I will put the link just here. In the meantime, I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me a comment, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.